Thank you, everybody, for joining. This is the latest eToro exclusive shareholder review of their earnings, this time for second quarter 2026. We're joined by Daniel Amir, who runs investor relations at eToro, who'll take us through the results. Daniel, I'll hand over to you and let you go through it. We have some questions along the way. If any of the listeners have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And we'll get to them at the end of the call. Daniel, over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Scott. And looking forward here to spending the next 45 minutes with you here. So again, my name is Daniel Amir. I run global investor relations for eToro. Earlier this week, we reported our Q2 26 numbers. We had an exciting quarter, and we also had a big announcement about an acquisition of a company called TradeZero. So what I'll go through here is some of our material from our presentation on earnings. I won't go through all the slides, and then I'll open it up to Q&A. I know there's a number of questions that Scott received directly. So again, we reported our Q2 26 numbers this week. So overall, the highlights of the quarter is that our funded accounts continued to accelerate, and we grew 18% year over year. That is very strong growth. This is at this point, just to get an idea, last year it grew 9%. On an organic basis, this 18% is about 15% on an organic basis. We acquired assets under administration. Our AUA grew 10%. Our net contribution and our adjusted EBITDA grew 9% year over year to $229 million and $78 million respectively. So which translate to 34% EBITDA margins. As we look at kind of the story here of eToro in the past year, is what we've seen is that eToro is essentially a multi-asset platform that in any given time there's an asset that shines on the platform, which our retail investors gravitate to. So if we see in the table here below, you can see that in Q2 and Q3 in Q1, Q2, Q3 of last year, you saw elevated levels of crypto, on an average basis. So you saw a lot of investors investing in crypto that started from the Trump election and into most of 25. And then as kind of crypto fell off in the fourth quarter, you saw 60% of our users actually who traded crypto started trading commodities. So you see in both Q4 25 and Q1 26, the gray bar grew to 30% and then 60% respectively in Q1 with the significant volatility and strength that there was in commodities off of the war in the Middle East. And then what you've seen in Q2 is that again, 60% of the users who traded commodities in Q4 and Q1 traded equities in Q2. So they gravitated into equities as the AI trade in the US really accelerated. So you saw people moving into equities, and that's kind of what you're seeing here in Q3 to date. So as crypto has really come down significantly, and commodities is now back to a little more of a normal level, you've seen significant strength in equity. So that's kind of the beauty of our platform, and we've kind of seen that cycle here occur this quarter again. So everything that we build here is we build on AI basis, and what we've announced in July 7th, so we had a big announcement, is that we relaunched our new app. So you can download the app if you don't have it yet. We did a new branding of our app, and it's also, we added a number of features. So go ahead and go to the App Store and kind of download the app. We launched agent portfolios, wallets. We improved our Tori experience, which is our AI chatbot, and we pushed our App Store, which we launched in Q2 as well. Today we have over 75 different apps. So in terms of some of the things that we've launched, again, we have a new eToro app. This is how it looks like. It's more agentic. It has Tori built in, a chatbot. It's really provides all the power that an investor needs in order to help him make better decisions. And it's all powered with kind of the latest AI tools. In the App Store, we have 75 apps that are live. We have hundreds on the way. We expect to have many new apps. We're seeing over a 5x growth in users trading through our API during the second quarter. So we're really seeing significant activity around people using our apps and AI tools on our App Store. We've also launched a product called Sub-Accounts. So Sub-Accounts basically enable users to manage their different goals and strategy across time horizons. So you can have a custodial account, like a parent-controlled first portfolio for their kids. You can have a sub-account that's run by an agent. That means just an AI agent that's running your sub-account and making the investments for you based on the rules that you provide them. And this is a new feature. We think that people will be excited about the aspect that they can potentially take their account and divide it into different segments and kind of run it in different ways. We also launched a product for more the active traders, which we call eToro Edge. So this is basically a platform that is much more for people who are, people who trade a lot, very chart heavy, table heavy. Think this is similar to some platforms that you might see from our competitors that deal with more active traders. We call this eToro Edge, and it's ready for download at the moment as well. Our pro investor community that some of you are on this phone call today continues to increase. We have over 5,400 pro investors, millions of users across 75 different countries. So we're really excited about our continuing growth. We saw 70% plus year-over-year growth of assets copied through pro investors. So we're really excited about our continuing success with copy trading. Furthermore, on the smart portfolios, it continues to grow. We have over 130 smart portfolios on our platform. We're excited to say that we got our RIA license in the US, and we can launch now smart portfolios in the US market, and we will do that later this year. So many of these favorite smart portfolios that we see on this page, these will be introduced into the US market shortly. So we're really excited about this, and this obviously provides another avenue of investing for retail for our users. We continue to push into savings markets. This quarter, we saw real growth in the UK, specifically cash ISA market. So ISA is basically the savings product that exists in the UK. Our assets were up 15x year over year in the UK alone in the second quarter. So today we provide savings products in 3 markets: UK, Australia, and France. We plan to, in the next 18 months, to roll out additional countries in which we can introduce our savings products to. And of course, finance continues to move on chain. We're leveraging our Zengo acquisition, which we closed in April, which provides us the ability to move more and more products on chain. So we released perpetuals and prediction markets on our self-custodian live the on-chain at Zengo. So we have today over 10,000 assets on chain, and we plan to continue to push this forward. There is a market, some of you on this call may trade that way, that are on chain, and we believe that there's a significant opportunity here, and we're providing this bridge. Finally, in terms of products, we announced the acquisition of a company called TradeZero. So TradeZero is a company that was founded in 2015. It's a broker-dealer business in the US that serves largely active clients. So it opens the door here to a new market. We acquired this for 100% of up to $231 million. This company did about $80 million in the last 12 months in terms of revenues, with 80+% gross margins. We expect this to be adjusted EPS accretive in the first full year once we complete the closure before synergies. And we expect this to close kind of in the first half of 27. So what does Trade Zero bring to us? So first of all, Trade Zero brings to us a US market scale. So I think you've heard us in the past talk that we are relatively subscaled in the US, given the size of the market here, and for historical reasons. This is a US business, so it really gives us scale in the US, accelerates our US product roadmap with an experienced leadership team that exists here in the US. Second, it provides us the opportunity to expand into the active trader market. So the active trader platform is a large market that historically we have not really addressed on the retail side. And they have tools, they have execution technology, they have sophisticated trading features around short, hard to borrow stocks, futures, options, things that we historically did not have. They have a robust broker-dealer infrastructure, so this gives us, an opportunity to unlock kind of clearing, self-clearing across the world. Geographic expansion, meaning it opens up the opportunity for Canada, which is a country we historically did not operate in. It's a fairly good-sized market, so we're excited about the opportunity to enter Canada. And as I mentioned, it's financial accretive before synergy. So we're excited about the opportunity here. So with that, I'll just go for maybe a couple more slides here, just on on some of the KPIs, and then I'll open it up to the questions. So just so you see the net contribution breakdown. This is what we reported this quarter. As we said, 9% growth year over year. You see that our ECC, which is our equities, commodities, and currency business, was 142 million this quarter. It grew 25% year over year. So we're really excited about that. So despite the fact that crypto has become very small with the crypto winter that we're seeing here, we're continuing to grow the business as the crypto traders kind of move towards trading equities this quarter, and we're continuing to be excited about our net contribution and our etoro money business, which continue to grow very nicely as well. In terms of last things, in terms of the interest earning assets, this grew 12% year over year to $7 billion. So this was driven by largely higher margin book and corporate cash that we have on our balance sheet. And our etoro money transfers grew 92% year over year. And this is due to kind of the expansion of the etoro money products around debit cards that grew 30% quarter over quarter in the European market, and currency conversions as well. So last on net income. So our net income, as you see, was 53 million. It grew nicely on a year-over-year basis, declined on a Q-over-Q basis, given that Q1 was kind of a record quarter for us. But this gives us sustained profitability and supports our continued investment in growth, innovation, and AI. So with that, I think I'll stop here. I mean, obviously, I can talk more about specific products. I can, but the presentation is long. It's all on our website. So I'm going to stop here at kind of the 20-minute mark and take questions. And if needed, I can bring back the presentation up again.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. We did get a couple questions in from during the RSVP process. Let me just pull up a couple of those. One of them was around Trade Zero. You went through that. That was great. And I guess a follow-on question related to Trade Zero, is this sort of part of a broader roll-up strategy in the US market? You've done a few acquisitions this year. What's the thinking on that side of the fence?
Yeah, certainly. So the way we view, look, if you look at the fintech market today, there's a fair amount of consolidation happening, and there's a race to scale your business. And the access to capital, in some markets is drying up. For instance, companies that are exposed to crypto, the access to capital is certainly dried up given, the crypto winter that's existed now for almost a year.
Yeah.
And that's just opening opportunities, So the two acquisitions that we announced in early Q2 were basically both in the crypto space. There were startups in the crypto space. One was Zengo, which was in the crypto wallet, non-custodial crypto wallet space, and the other was Bit2C, which was a small crypto exchange in Europe. And as we look at going forward, our strategy is to continue to scale in certain markets. US being our top market that we need to scale, because our market share is very small. It is the largest capital markets, and we believe that we are under index and there's an opportunity here. So Trade Zero provides us that opportunity. But as you look at us going forward, we have, as of today, we have $1.2 billion of cash on the balance sheet with no debt. That continues to provide us the opportunity to continue to look at M&A, whether in the US, whether globally, whether it's to fill in certain product gaps that we might have, and also continue to repurchase shares as needed in order to support our investors. So that's kind of the mindset of how we look at the capital allocation in our business currently.
And then I guess by extension, what are some of those markets, like country-wise or regional markets, that are focuses beyond the US?
Yeah, so as we look at potential business development things that we're looking at, so first of all, as I mentioned in one of the slides, savings products is something that we see as a real opportunity. It's saving products tend to be sticky, so once people bring their savings, they kind of stay on the platform. Second, it tends to be usually larger account sizes than our historical accounts, because the amount of money that people usually use for savings is larger. And third, it's a great way that someone comes in through the platform for savings, and then it says, oh wow, there's also trading and investing capabilities here, and starts to engage with other products of ours. So right now we are only in 3 markets. We see an opportunity here for savings products in additional markets, especially in Europe. One of the areas we're looking at is Germany, for example, given that there's pension reform kicking in there in 2027. So we do see countries like that. And the fastest way to get in is maybe through small acquisitions. The other area is product fills, predominantly, as we've seen, kind of in the crypto space, like we did in the second quarter. Things around tokenization, digital assets. Those are areas where there's always maybe opportunity to find additional products to fill in certain gaps. And finally, in terms of regions, outside beyond just the US, which we just spoke about, is looking at regions like Latin America, South Asia. Those are regions that we believe that there's opportunity there, and we don't currently have licenses to operate there, so we don't have presence. But we do think that there's opportunity for growth of our platform in those markets.
Okay, great. Just got a question in from one of our UK listener or viewers. Does eToro report ARPU? And if not, since Robinhood does, that might be a useful comp to help close the valuation gap between the two.
Yeah, good question. So what we do provide is not average revenue per user. We do have average account size, right, per user. So we do introduce the number of users, and we do provide the AUA. As you look at like various things that we can do in terms of disclosures, I mean, clearly, we went public about a little more than a year ago, and we've been gradually introducing additional disclosures in our business. We do operate a slightly different business than Robinhood does. Of course, they compete with us, and we see them in many of our core products, but they are largely a US-based business, and we are largely a European-based business. And therefore, sometimes the products are slightly different. Largely, I'm talking about leverage products. And also the platform that Robinhood provides in the US is obviously broader than what we provide currently in the US. That we expect to change with the help of Trade Zero. We do think that if you look at us a year from now at this time, after the Trade Zero acquisition closes, we will have the vast majority of our global products introduced in the US market, on top of having, of course, the Trade Zero business. And we believe we'll be able at that time to possibly disclose maybe additional KPIs that could be relevant for the investment community after we close that deal.
All right. Okay. I've got one more. Here we go. Hold on one sec. So there was one question that is like that had come in earlier. Sorry, I'm just going through my notes. So obviously that chart is great in terms of seeing the shift between away from crypto into equities. I'm sure driven a lot by that sort of AI trade. Is there a way that you all can get exposed more to the AI trade or take advantage of that, or is that really has to be done through equities?
A good question. No, actually, there is multiple ways of getting exposure. So first of all, an average user could, outside getting exposed to just buying the equities, they could also copy one of our pro investors. So there are pro investors, which you can look on our platform, who obviously their portfolio is open to everybody to see, who are more exposed to AI stocks than others. So you could copy a pro investor that's seen, strong performance, and that matches your risk, risk return profile. So that's another way of doing it. Another way is that for our smart portfolios, you could see we have a number of smart portfolios that are AI specific, that basically from a strategy perspective, we have built portfolios to capture certain trends that exist, that exist in the market. So if I show my screen again, if you see kind of our smart portfolios, so there are, on the right side, these are like three different, three different portfolios. One's called In the Game, which is largely stocks that are related to gaming. Then there's Big Tech, which is largely all the large cap tech companies. And then there's 5G revolution, which is a lot more to do with internet, wireless, etc. However, we also have AI, AI portfolio that tracks kind of AI. And, these are just three examples which we've really outperformed kind of the index. And there's others as well. So that's another way of, getting exposure to AI stocks. And finally, there's you could also buy certain indices and ETFs. There's many indices and ETFs on our platform as well. And there's ETFs that have, higher correlation to AI stocks as well.
Actually, and that dovetails nicely into a follow-up question I got from one of the other listeners. How has the AI, both Tori 1.0 and then the new Tori, plus I guess the smart portfolios, are you seeing that increasing trading volumes, obviously, and by extension, is that improving your financial? You're seeing a sort of drive in improvements in financials for the company?
Great question. So today we're in the early stages of this. We launched agentic trading in April. So we're kind of basically 3 months into this. We're already seeing significant traction. We did not roll it out for everyone yet because we're aware that not everyone is comfortable in having an agent fill in instructions and then execute on trades on their behalf. But what we are seeing is that many of our top pro investors are adopting AI tools to improve their overall investment performance. And we do believe that if you look a year out, more and more of the volume on Wall Street in general will be automated trading, through agents. And overall, we do think that it's going to increase the overall trading volume that exists today. And as a simple example, what I tell people is like, look, you can have an agent that looks at your portfolio And every week you say, every Friday before the close, look at my portfolio and rebalance my portfolio every Friday. So the agent will make the trades for you and rebalance your portfolio every Friday, which is probably something that you historically would have not have done every week for sure. You may have done once a month or once a quarter, and definitely not once a week. So it does create a higher velocity of trades. That's what we anticipate that's going to happen. And we're in the early stages of it, but we're very excited about the traction that we're already seeing.
Awesome. Another question just came in. Lots of brokerages are looking at the wealth management space to disrupt and acquire AUA. What's eToro's spot or view on this on that universe?
So wealth management is one of our 4 pillars. So we have investing, we have trading, we have neobanking, and we have wealth management. And what basically our goal is to basically support the long-term financial needs of our users by offering them local adapted savings and investing products in key markets. So the savings aspect that I mentioned, like in the UK, Australia, France, where we have today savings, that is something that absolutely will be pushing forward and as part of the wealth management. Furthermore, we're looking at, we do provide interest on cash, so if people want to park their cash or put their cash with us, we are providing those features as well. And we're looking to expand wealth management further. And I agree with kind of the person who provided the question. This is a way to increase your AUA, absolutely, which is one of our key KPIs, is to increase it through wealth management. So as we look at kind of our goals, going forward, historically, if we look at our business, we used to be predominantly investing and trading, business, and even as far as not too far away as 2 years ago, our investing and trading business was maybe, at the most was like 20% of our business. Today, this past quarter, it is close to 30%. So if you look at eToro Money plus our net interest, business, which is kind of the wealth management, we were at 75 million, which is about a third. So we are pushing, and wealth management is part of that story. We want to provide a significant size business that is also fairly sticky, that is less volatile from quarter to quarter and less dependent on the fluctuations of the market, which is more trading oriented. And wealth management is part of that, equation.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so here's another question on the social side of things. Competitors are beginning to experiment with the social side elements. You guys were pioneers here. What is that long history or that historical data of copy trading and popular investors? How do you see that on your cost of acquisition or CAC?
Yeah, so our cost of acquisition is a combination of market conditions, and how we push kind of innovative products.
Right.
So in periods where you have, let's say, a boom in the crypto market or a boom in the commodity market, you tend to acquire users who are more interested in access to those markets, because the historical broker system and definitely the historical banking system in Europe doesn't offer crypto or commodity trading to the average retail investor. They offer, at best, they offer equities, right? But in periods where those are more subdued, we certainly have people who come to the platform because they're interested in investing. These are largely millennials and Gen Zs. That's kind of the average age on our platform. They're looking at ways to invest, but sometimes they just don't know which stocks to invest in. And smart portfolios, copy trading provides them that access to copy someone who has experience of 5 years, 10 years on our platform and has shown strong performance, and they come to that platform. So overall, our cost of acquisition on average has not significantly changed in Europe. No, our marketing is all ROI based, so it's largely based on performance-based marketing, what we call. And we do see the best LTV, the long-term value of customers in our European markets. That's kind of where our best LTV is. We do expect that to change over time in the US as we introduce more products, close the Trade Zero acquisition, and have much more of a broader product set in the US market that we can target, the US customer much more effectively.
Excellent. All right, I think we've probably one more question here, Daniel, if it's all right. This is from someone who definitely studied finance. You have a very solid and liquid balance sheet. How are you looking at, are you weighing buybacks at all, or are you still really more focused on the growth in the M&A space, given that you've already done 3 acquisitions? Are you evaluating those both, or are you really keeping your powder dry, basically?
Yeah, sir, good question. So we announced our first share repurchase program in early November, ahead of the earnings call that we had back in November, and then we raised it again in February. Net, in the past 8 months, we've repurchased with about $250 million of our cash. We repurchased shares. So we absolutely believe that our shares are undervalued. This past quarter, we repurchased 2.3 million shares for $87 million. So we remain very committed on repurchasing shares. So as I mentioned, the amount of money that we have on the balance sheet, which is about 1.2 billion of cash and cash equivalents, does provide us the flexibility to continue to look at inorganic opportunities in M&A, but also to continue to buy back shares. So we do not fully need all this money, of course, to run the day-to-day business. So we have excess cash that we can return to shareholders, but also we want to look at select opportunities in terms of investing in growth, and that is unfortunately we have a balance sheet that provides us that capital allocation flexibility that might not exist at other companies.
All right, Daniel, I think that's the list of questions that I have here. Is there? I might hand over to you just to sort of sign off.
Certainly. So I really appreciate kind of the time here that we've all spent together. Where eToro is continuing to innovate at a very fast pace, and AI has certainly accelerated that innovation. We're excited about the opportunity ahead here following the acquisition of Trade Zero. And we do continue to believe that there's a large TAM opportunity here of retail investors, especially in Europe, to engage further in online brokerages like ourselves, but are also interested in the social investing and trading aspect. Our goal is to continue to expand capabilities and new products into our platform, so retail users become more and more engaged. And as you've seen this quarter, part of the launch of the new app, part of the introduction of the App Store, part of the aspect of providing AI tools and agentic trading is all part of the kind of that value proposition that we're providing to retail investors. So we're excited about what's ahead, and looking forward to speaking to everybody in 3 months again.
And thank you to all the eToro shareholders for being part of this. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of this. We look forward to engaging with you more, bringing plenty more eToro benefits to everyone. So thank you, Daniel. Great quarter. Thank you for your time with everyone here today, and we'll see everyone very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.